Hello and welcome back, everyone. Here we are back for another set review for Modern Horizons 2. This time we're doing Colorless. So, with that being said, let's just go and hop right on into it. So, these are the recently previewed Colorless cards in the last 24 hours. You might be seeing Inevitable Betrayal is here, and it, of course, looks blue. Well, keep in mind, it has no converted mana cost because it is a suspend-only card, which means, or it has no mana symbols up here, which mean that it is colorless and does not have a identity text or anything in it. That's, I don't know if you'd call it identity text, but it doesn't have a text that informs you, hey, this card is blue. It doesn't have anything like that. So this card is, of course, treated as colorless. So we have Patchwork Gnomes. Discard a card, regenerate Patchwork Gnomes. 2/1 for 3 mana, whatever. Soul Talisman's kind of interesting. The last suspend mocks from Modern Horizons 1 didn't see any play. I don't think Soul Talisman will either in Modern, but I think it's a cool card. I like the idea that we had a, what was it? Mox Opal? Was it similar to Mox Opal? I don't remember which Mox it was similar to. But it's cool that we had a Mox printed with Suspend. Now it's cool we get a Soul Ring printed with Suspend. I think that's really cool. I like that flavor. We over here have Nettle Cyst, which is pretty cool. 3 mana living weapon. Equip creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or equipment you control. Equip is 2 mana, so it's pretty cheap to equip. I like this for affinity. It's kind of similar to Cranial Plating, except +1/+1, which is better. Inevitable Betrayal is basically a suspend bribery. You search your opponent's library and grab a creature, and it gets put onto the battlefield under your control. If it was casting that creature, that would be a big game. You could put it in play against Emrakul decks. You cast it against Emrakul decks, cast their Emrakul, and probably win the game. But because it's putting it into play, that's still really good, but it's not as good as casting it. But there are plenty of creatures in the format that are good to steal from your opponent. However, I really don't think this card's going to do it. I don't think it's going to see play. I don't think it's good. I believe Bribery is in the format, and it doesn't see any play. So I could be wrong. Maybe it's not, but yeah. Then we have Ornithopter of Paradise, which looks like a Birds of Paradise fused with an Ornithopter. 2 mana, flying, add 1 mana of any color, 0/2. Card's kind of cool. I think this might be see play in the what's it called? The mono white sword hammer time. There we go, hammer time. I doubt it, but it could. Kind of cool. We have the retro art for Sword of Sinew and Steel, which is pretty sweet. And then over to the main set, we of course started with Cauldron Complete, Living Weapon, Indestructible. Creature gets +5/+5, has First Strike, has Trample, has Indestructible, has Haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. But its equip cost is 7. Now, I love this card. I think it's going to be great. I'm going to play it in Stoneforge decks. We're going to make it work. I don't care what we got to do. Is it great? Probably. Your Stoneforge dies, it's significantly worse. But yeah. Super excited. We're gonna play it. It's a fun looking card. I think it's a little busted, but I don't think it's like so broken that it shouldn't have been printed or banned. It should be banned or anything like that. I just think it's good. Scion of Draco, a 12 mana domain card. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control. Flying. Whenever you can, or creatures you control have vigilance. If it's white, it has hexproof. Or if it has white, it has vigilance. Hexproof if it's blue. Life of Ink if it's black, First Strike if it's red, and Trample if it's green. That's pretty sweet. So of course it doesn't give itself any buffs like that, but it's already flying. So also, fun fact with Domain, if you have a Triome, that you have the Rugrain Triome, so Jeskai Triome, and then you play an Overgrown Tomb, you have all 5 types, basic land types in play. It means Scion of Draco now costs 2 mana. Which, that's right, that means you can play Scion of Draco on turn 2. So, I'm excited. We're going to try to do that a lot. Maybe not a lot. But at least for one video. Sorry, guys. A little tired. It's been a long day. All right, we got Sword of Hearth and Home. This is a sweet one, and this is a card I'm super excited to play in Stoneblade as well. Don't get me wrong, we're going to play Cauldra complete, but we are definitely going to be playing some Stoneblade decks with Sword of Heart and Home as well. Probably Heart Home, Cauldra Complete, and Batterskull. I will definitely be making room for the third equipment now in the main board. So it's got the normal text: 3 mana to cast, 2 to equip, +2/+2, and pro green and white. This sword, whenever it deals combat damage, whenever a creature deals combat damage to player, exile up to 1 target creature you own. Then search your library for a basic land card. Put both on the battlefield under your control, then shuffle. So this lets you have a blink effect like Feldar Guardian, as well as a ramp effect. Pretty sweet. I really like it. It's really cool too because you can deal damage, say with the Stoneforge. Blink your Stoneforge Mystic, go get a basic. Stoneforge thing can go get Cauldra Complete or Batterskull or Sword of Fire and Ice or whatever else. I think that synergy is super sweet. I'm super excited for it. Academy Manufacturer. If you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create 1 of each. This is pretty sweet. Goes really well with Tireless Tracker. It goes really well with Gilded Goose. Of course, already making a treasure token off of that stuff is great because that's mana. So, every time Tireless Tracker gets a clue, you get mana to go along with it. It's pretty sweet. I really like that. So, I'm excited to see how that card does. I don't think it's going to be super great, but I kind of want to play it alongside those cards just to try it out. Alright, so next up we have Asmarone, Marty, Kedis, that card. This lady or gentleman that I can't pronounce. So it's technically colorless again because no mana up in the top. Of course, how could you fit it? There's no room for it. Of course, this is a first time printing of this card. However, this card has been referenced in the flavor text of older cards. So this is not some new thing Wizards decided to just do out of nowhere. As long as you discarded a card this turn, you may pay black or red to cast this spell. When this card's name enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice 2 foods. Target creature deals 6 damage to itself. I think this card's pretty cool overall. The fact of the matter is that you can play it for a 3/3 for 1 mana is pretty sweet. Yes, you have to discard beforehand, but, I mean, come on. There's the Hollow One shell that we could put back together. Also, you know what card this goes into? Yeah, Waste Not. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to try this card alongside Waste Not. We'll see. Anyway, we have Cursed Totem. Nothing special here. This is a reprint with new art. Beginning activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. Pretty sweet. Whatever. We have Dermataxi. So, imprint. As Dermataxi enters the battlefield, exile a creature card from a graveyard. Tap 2 untap creatures you control. Till the end of turn, Dermataxi becomes a copy of that exiled card, except it's a vehicle. Artifacts in addition, or vehicle artifacts in addition to its other types. So, this is pretty sweet. Cool against Reanimator decks, but also just super sweet against, you can exile from your own graveyard, right? Yeah, from a graveyard. So you can play it in the Persist Reanimate deck. Heck, you could put into the graveyard a Gristlebrand and eventually make copies of it. You have to build the deck quite a bit differently. I think it's a fun card. I don't think it's going to be that good, though. Diamond Lion. Of course, this is Lion's Eye Diamond's creature card. Discard your hand, sacrifice Diamond Lion, add 3 mana of any one color, activate it only as an instant. I mean, it is what it is. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know how good it's going to be. Interesting to see, though, that you can go turn 2, play Diamond Lion, turn 3, play Narset, turn 2, or turn 3, then Diamond Lion wheel with, what's it called? A blue spell that I can't think of what it's called. But anyway, you can wheel away each player's hand, and then your opponent only gets to draw 1 card, and you draw a full hand. So that's pretty interesting. Don't know how good that's going to be, but we might try it. We might have some fun like that. Gaia's Will, another one of the suspend cards that is a mock-up of an older card. This one is Yawgmoth's Will, which kind of makes sense. We got Gaia's Will, which is a mirror of Yawgmoth's Will, or a fixed Yawgmoth's Will. When we got the green Urborg. Of course, until the end of turn, you may play lands and cast spells from your graveyard. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile that card instead. Now, the downside here is this card gets cast from suspend at the beginning of your upkeep, which means you have to already be set up for your combo turn if you're going to try to combo with it. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. The card is, that is, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it could be cool. People might try and make it work for the first couple weeks just for fun. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to do too good. Then we have Glimpse of Tomorrow. Shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from top of your library. Put all non-aura permanents cards reveal this way onto the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. This is pretty cool. It's a Warp World type effect, but kind of cheaper. I kind of like the idea of building a deck where you're just cascading into Warp World. That's pretty cool. We talked about Net Assist. Neverall's Disc, 4 mana, enters the battlefield tapped, pay 1 mana, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Does Tron want this card? I don't think so. Could it play it? Yes. I don't think it will, though. I think Oblivion Stone is better. That's my opinion. This card, of course, has to wait a whole turn because it's coming into play tapped, but I don't know. Profane Tutor, which is a suspend version of Demonic Tutor. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. In combo decks, this could be interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be great. Then we have Void Mirror, which has been a very confrontational, a very debated card. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So this is big because that means that typically Tron can't cast any of its spells then. However, here are the downsides. If they have a forest in mono green Tron, they can play all their spells. If they have any of their eggs that they can crack for colors, they can cast their spells. If you can somehow get this underneath any of their eggs or any of their forests, it does something. But if they just get to that point, then they draw a forest, keep a forest, then you can't do anything about it. So I think this card could see some play because it does shut down Cascade. It does stop Force of Negation being alternate cast. Stops Bring to Light. What else does it stop? Eldrazi Tron it stops, but then again, we just got the Yavimaya that turns all your lands into forests. So maybe Eldrazi Tron plays that now. I don't know. I don't think this card's gonna be that good, but it's interesting. Could turn out to be good, but I don't know. Zabaz, the Glimmer Wasp. Modular 1 mana. If a modular trigger ability would put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on the creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. What? That many +1/+1 counter. Okay. I was confused, sorry. Then it has red, destroy target artifact creature, and white, it gains flying till the end of the turn. I think this card's pretty cool. I think it's really cool for the being able to destroy your own stuff to trigger their modulars is pretty cool. But I don't know. Obviously I think this card might be a little too crazy if it was just destroy target artifact. But I don't know. I mean, there are definitely artifacts in the format that want to be destroyed. So I don't know. Could be interesting. Altar of Goyf, whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +X until the end of turn, where X is the number of card types among cards in all graveyards. Lower Goyf creatures you control have trample. I think this card's cool flavor-wise. I think 5 mana is a little expensive. I do understand why it's expensive, though, because it's what it does. But another tribal card, tribal artifact, pretty sweet. I don't think we'll be seeing it play alongside Goyf. Battlebone, another living weapon. Equip creature gets +1/+1, vigilance, and lifelink. The equip is 5. I don't know. I think that card's pretty bad. That's just my opinion, though. Brainstone. This one I'm excited about. So, Brainstone, 1 mana. Then it has tap, 2 mana. Draw. I can't speak. Draw 3 cards, and then put 2 cards back on top of your library in any order. I really think that this card could bring back Miracles. I'm super excited for it. We'll see how it goes. We're going to try out Blue-White Miracles. We might even try out a Jeskai Miracles. See if we can burn some people out. We'll see. Extruder, artifact creature, Juggernaut, Echo 4. Beginning of your upkeep, if this came into under control your previous turn, sacrifice it unless you pay its echo cost. Second artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. This card's pretty sweet again. I don't think it's going to see play in Modern, just because it's so expensive for a 4/3. But being able to sacrifice stuff to add counters is pretty cool. Liquid Metal Torque, 2 mana, tap for 1, colorless, target non-land permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until the end of the turn. Here's my problem, it says non-land, so I don't think this card's going to be that great in a Karn sideboard, but you never know. We'll see. It is kind of cool though, but I don't know. You could just play it regularly as a mana rock too, and just happens to work well with Karn shutting things off, but I don't know. Milliken? Wow. Yeah, Milliken. That's a word, all right. Tap mill a card, add colors to your mana pool. Nifty, but I don't think you'll see play. Monoskelion enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Remove a +1/+1 counter on it, deals 1 damage to target creature. It's a Triskelion variant, kind of cool, but meh. Not my thing. Sanctuary Raptor, 3 mana flying. When Sanctuary Raptor attacks, if you control 3 or more tokens, sorry. Sanctuary Raptor gets +2/+0 until the and gains first strike until the end of the turn. 2/1. I don't think that's going to see play. Most of these uncommons probably aren't going to see too much play. Steel Dromedary. Oh my god, I can't speak English. Steel Dromedary enters the battlefield, taps with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Steel Dromedary doesn't untap during its untap step if it has +1/+1 counters on it at the beginning of combat. On your turn, you may move a +1/+1 counter from this creature onto another target creature. Yeah, I don't think that card's very good either. Now here we go. The Underworld Cookbook. 1 mana, tap, discard a card, create a food. Pay 4, sacrifice the Underworld Cookbook, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This card looks super sweet. This alongside with Mr. Mrs. Asma or whatever. Really sweet ability. Just discarding cards, making food. It really filters that or fuels the Madness deck. Excited to see it played. Vestic Gloves, equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Artifact Landwalk. Pretty cool since we just got a bunch of new cool artifact lands. But it's 2 mana and 2 to equip. Meh. Now, one of the ones the card I'm the most excited about, I think, in the colorless is Zuran Orb. Sacrifice a land, you gain 2 life. But this goes really, really well with Titania and our Frog, because when we sacrifice a land, they both have things that happen, as well as we gain 2 life. Plus, Zuran Orb can be pretty cool if we need some life gain. Bottle Gnomes, Trample. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. 4 mana, 3/3. Tormod's Cryptbreaker. So, this is a Tormod Crypt on legs. Vigilance. Sacrifice Tormod's Crypt. Keep your exile cards from target player's graveyard. Pretty sweet. And then we just have our alternate border / art cards, throwbacks. Our retro cards, Sword of Truth and Justice, and the Talisman Cycle. That's it for our colorless / suspended cards. Overall, I think the cards going to have the most impact are going to be these 3, followed by Brainstone, and then Underworld Cookbook, I think, are going to be the best. Zuran Orb, I think, could be cool. But I really think this Underworld Cookbook alongside this fellow could have some serious potential. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, go on the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think of each of the cards in this set. Specifically, let me know what you guys think of these 3. These 3 I'm so excited for. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.